Broadcasting to you from the heart of northern Minnesota, this is a special fucking edition of the best music-oriented podcast and web series on all of YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2025 season finale of the Roger Radio Show. I am Roger Radio.
And I'm Aegis on Levity of the Enchantment Group.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our final legit album review of the year. Before we get started or whatever with other stuff, just remember, ladies and gentlemen, all this here is a work in progress because I might change things up a bit, so you can all just tune that out. But I hope your Christmas was good as mine was, and same for you, Aegis.
Yep.
Yep. Anyway, cheers, fuckface.
Cheers, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into today's legit album review, the question of the podcast, obviously to be appropriate for the end of the year, is what was your best and worst music moment of 2025? And I'm talking what happened as far as it goes for either the Hall of Fame, albums that came out this year, or any award shows in particular. Like, what was your most favorite moment and your most hated moment that you've seen?
My favorite moment was definitely the Deer Hunter's new EP.
Which we did.
The least favorite moment is the fact that Anxiety won awards.
Okay, so for me, my best favorite moments were the fact that Taylor Swift didn't get nominated for shit, and the fact that the Country Music Awards were the only awards that did it right, did not nominate Beyonce for jack shit, and actually gave Post Malone an award that was deserving. My most hated moment was the fact that Eminem kept getting fucking screwed out of the awards that he clearly deserved, and the fact that Beyonce was winning for all the wrong reasons.
Yep.
And let me see. I think that's pretty much it for me, really. And then there was the Hall of Fame, too. Best moment for me was Bad Company and Soundgarden's inductions.
Okay.
And I was just listening to Bad Company earlier today as I was listening to today's album. Okay, so Aegis, for today's album review, obviously, it's the one thing that fucking surprises me about you is that you're a progressive rock guy, but yet you don't really care much about Genesis. Like I thought you would, honestly.
I don't like a lot of their music, but I do like this album. This album had some good songs on it.
Yeah, and that is the subject of today's album. We are reviewing their 1974 album, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. What can I say about this album here? It's obvious, it's a really good story, but most times for me with the music, it's like a hit or miss kind of thing. Because the genres for this is progressive rock and art rock, but it almost felt like I was hearing other genres that were way outside their stuff.
Okay.
You know? So, I don't know what it was about this album. I kept getting drawn to it, like, I don't even know how many times, per se. Hey, but it's a interesting story, I will say that much. It's a rock opera, too. Mm-hmm. And it actually got drawn by two inspirations, believe it or not. It was, let me take a look. A book that's called The Pilgrim's Progress from This World to That Which Is to Come, which is a 1678 Christian allegory written by John Bunyan. And it also drew inspiration, I think, for the musical aspect from the 1957 theater West Side Story. Like I said, it's a double album rock opera that tells the story of Rael, who is a troubled and rebellious youth from New York City who is unexpectedly taken on a surreal and introspective journey of self-discovery. He ends up facing a series of bizarre and symbolic experiences that ultimately lead to his quote-unquote transformation and spiritual awakening.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, so the album came out on November 22nd of 1974. It was recorded between August and October of 74. They recorded it at Island Studios Mobile at Glass Pont Manor and Chapel Ewan, Carmarthenshire, Wales. The genres are progressive and art rock. It was released by Charisma and Atco, and it was co-produced by Genesis and engineer John Burns, who actually did some work with the likes of Jethro Tull and worked with Blind Faith, David Bowie, King Crimson. The list goes on,
Neat. That's fucking awesome.
right? And considering that Jethro Tull and King Crimson are prog rock bands, it kind of makes sense that they would bring
Yeah.
someone in the prog rock scene in to help with the production and all that.
Yeah,
So
David Bowie in his later works, it's like as proggy as you can get without it being actually prog, if that makes sense.
that would be the same for Blue Oyster Cult's Imaginos. Like they work, it is considered a hard rock album, but if you listen to the music, they do have some proggy sound to it. So, okay, so here's the background here. Basically, all five of them just finished touring for their 1973 album, Selling England by the Pound. That album was a huge critical and commercial success for the group, earning them their highest charted release in the UK and US. They booked 3 months at Headley Grange, a large former workhouse in Headley, East Hampshire, to write and rehearse new material for their next album. The building was left in a very poor state by Pretty Things, who was an English rock band who apparently trashed the place.
Hmm.
There was reportedly human shit on the floor and rat infestations, which took Genesis considerable effort to tidy up. By the time the personal lives of some of the band members had begun to affect the mood in the band because they were having some personal issues, it started causing complications in their work. Steve Hackett, I think it's his name if I remember correctly. Let me look one more time. Personnel. Yep, Steve Hackett, who was the guitarist, said this, and I quote, "Oh, everybody had their own agenda. Some of us were married, some of us had children, and some of us were getting divorced, and we were still trying to get together in the country." By this point, however, Peter Gabriel, who was the lead singer of the band, was becoming a father at one point, and so he had to split time between the recording stuff and his family because his new baby was born at that time. But the band saw it as him not caring at all, which was just unfair to him. I felt it was completely unfair to him, especially to be treated like that. They essentially would eventually release this album, but then of course it didn't. It wouldn't matter much, especially for Peter Gabriel, because right after they finished their tour, or in late, let me see here, in June of 1975, Peter Gabriel announced his departure from the band, and that's when the Phil Collins led era started. So this was basically Peter Gabriel's send-off album, and there's many people who say that this is supposed to be considered one of his best works because he was the one who written all the lyrics for it, while the rest of the band contributed to it. So
Yeah, and I was reading through the lyrics, and the storyline is very symbolic and oblique. So it's going to be kind of hard to explain exactly what's going on, and the actual meaning behind what's going on in it.
it is essentially, I was watching a WatchMojo.com video, and they actually listed this album here as quote unquote one of the most confusing concept albums ever made. And guess what was at number 2 behind Lamb Lies Down?
What?
Joe's Garage.
No, another really challenging one is not available by the residents.
Mm,
They literally wrote the lyrics and then they just set them aside until everyone forgot what the lyrics meant and then they released it.
right. I know that the album cover. Let's talk about the artwork. So there's 3 pictures, obviously, on the front part. It was designed by none other than Hypnosis. who were the same people that created most of the artwork for Pink Floyd's discography. So I want to explain how this goes. They conceived a monochrome design of a storyboard made of photographs depicting Rael, the main character, in various settings from the story. The image on the right of the front cover was taken in the vaults below the Roundhouse venue in London, where that's like a concert venue. Like the story, the photographs are open to interpretation. The bottom left image depicts Rael in an area where the songs in the Rapids and Riding the Scree are set. Storm Thorgerson, one of the co-founders of Hypnosis, said the focal point of the design was having Rael step outside of it and looking back on the events, a step considered necessary in the process of self-realization. The photographs were shot on black and white negative, of which the prints were cut, adjusted, and touched up with several artistic processes by Richard Manning to produce the final composite. The band were adamant that they did not want to be photographed for the cover and conducted a search for a model to portray Rael. They went with an unnamed person who is credited as Omar on the liner notes. The cover features a brand new logo in the Art Deco style produced by George Hardy. And if you look at the name of the band's, if you look at the band's logo, I kind of like it. It has that
I do too.
It has that very proggy touch to it. You know, like what Yes did with the bubble logo.
Mm-hmm.
So, despite the album cover being very memorable, the band members had varying opinions of the album cover. Hackett considered it inferior to many of Hypnosis's album covers and felt the style reflected an unwillingness by Hypnosis to take the band's preferences into consideration. So, I would say, honestly, probably the one album cover that people always shit on when it comes to Hypnosis was actually Pink Floyd's Metal cover.
Yeah.
So, Hypnosis said they didn't like it at all. It was supposed to be like two pictures like, I'm trying to think. They take two negatives and they splice them together to make one confusing picture. Like they had a picture of a woman's ear, and then they had a picture of like a little water dish that was filled with some water, and they imposed them together. So, now I personally like the album cover for Lamb Lies Down. You know, it feels like it's a quote unquote multiverse kind of thing, or I have some reason with the concept of this album, with how everything played out in it, it almost felt like it was the movie Land of the Lost, a different realm or journey kind of thing, so to speak. All right, so by contrast, Banks, Tony Banks, who was the keyboardist for it, basically said, let me get back to it quick. Damn it. I have to remember who all these fuckers are, you know. It's tough to say. All right, by contrast, Tony Banks and Peter Gabriel felt the cover was well suited to the album, effectively highlighting that the music was in a much more stark and realistic style other than their previous albums, though Gabriel said he was not fully satisfied with the model who portrays Rael. You know, Phil Collins, the drummer, called the cover a little bit confused, just like the story. It's a distinct package, and at least it evokes something, which I believe is probably the best quote out of all of them of how it went. The album art's supposed to be confusing. You have to give your perspective on like what it means, just like with the music here per se.
Yeah.
All right, and then the critical reception of this prior to the album's release, the members of the band actually expressed a lot of concern about how the album would end up going, and they were actually expecting a lot of real negative responses over its concept and extended format. Banks stated that the album would end people's comparisons of Genesis to the likes of Yes and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, who aside from Genesis were the other two popular prog rock bands of the time. Gabriel knew the album's concept was ideal for critics to quote unquote to get their teeth into. And actually, it did pretty good on some of the review scores. All Music gave it 5 stars. Chris Sagauza record guy gave it a B minus, and the Rolling Stone album guy gave it a 4-star rating. Let's see here. In the later years, the albums received acclaim. In '78, Nick Kent wrote for NME that had a very compelling appeal that often transcended the hoary weightness of the mammoth concept that held the equal mammoth four sides of vinyl together. In a special edition of Q and Mojo magazines titled Pink Floyd and the Story of Prog Rock, The Lamb ranked at number 14 in its 40 Cosmic Rock albums list. In 2007, the album came ninth in a list of the 10 best concept albums by Uncut Magazine, where it quote unquote described as an impressionistic, intense album and pure theater in a good way, and still Gabriel's best work. All
Okay.
Music Review Stephen Thomas Erlewine gave a retrospective rating of 5 stars out of 5. He said that despite Gabriel's lengthy libretto or whatever on the sleeve, the story never makes sense, though its music is forceful, imaginative pierce of work that showcases the original Genesis lineup at peak. It's a considerable lasting achievement, and it's a little wonder that Peter Gabriel had to leave. They had gone as far as they could go together, which in my opinion was kind of true. And then we saw what happened with the Phil Collins led era, and I felt that was where they became much more massive. Even though they were already seen as a big force during the Peter Gabriel era, I felt the Phil Collins era, it really did push it to the limit. A Rolling Stone poll to rank readers' favorite prog rock albums of all time placed The Lamb 5th in its list. In 2014, Readers of Rhythm voted it the album with the 4th greatest drumming in the history of progressive rock. So Phil Collins did get a lot of praise for his drumming work. In 2015, NME included the album in its 23 maddest and most memorable concept albums list for taking in themes of split personalities, heaven and hell, and truth and fantasy. It was one of 2 albums by Genesis included in the top 10 of the Rolling Stones list of 50 greatest prog rock albums of all time. The magazine described it as one of rock's more elaborate, beguiled, and strangely rewarding concept albums. The album was also included in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. And then let's take a look at the Billboard stuff or the charts quick before we get into the story. So it peaked at number 41 on the US Billboard 200, number 10 on the UK albums chart. For certifications, it's certified gold by selling 500,000 albums in the US. And yeah. But yeah, it's a really interesting story. There's no doubt about it. There was something else that I wanted to quickly read quick. Let me look it up quick. All right. Let me just look quick, ladies and gentlemen. Need to see if my shit will even load here. I know I wrote something down for. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the album's lyrics explore satirical allusions to mythology, split personality, sexual revolution, advertising, and consumerism. And I could hear a little bit in some of the lyrics, so. Alrighty, that being said, let me just make sure that everything's loading because it's now just and all that, so. Okay. Give me a quick moment. I don't want the music playing right now. I ain't getting copyrighted. All right, so shall we get into it?
Yeah.
All righty. We will start with, obviously, the album title's song, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. It is the first song from Genesis' 74 album of the same name. Although it did not chart a lot, it was frequently played on American FM radio stations. Well, here's the thing though. I listened to classic rock radio and never once did I hear them even play this song at all.
Hmm.
Um, it's actually, they even stated that this was actually the last song that was recorded during the recording process here. So, okay, so the end of the song features the words, they say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air. It's from the Drifters' song On Broadway. The studio recording features a variation of the former lyric. They say the lights are always bright on Broadway, but subsequent live recordings feature the original. Okay, so according to the story here, it was it was one morning in New York City. Rael, who is half Puerto Rican and the other half no one knows, it's unknown somehow, believe it or not. He is holding a can of spray paint, hating everyone around him. He witnesses a lamb lying down on Broadway, which had a profound effect on him, which is obviously where we get the name of the title of this album. You
All
can
right,
go
you gonna
ahead.
go through the lyrics or should I?
I was gonna say the one song that I want to get is around the twos or whatnot. So you start.
Hmm. Okay. And the lamb lies down on Broadway. Early morning Manhattan, ocean winds blow on the land. The movie palace is now undone. The all-night watchmen have had their fun. Sleeping cheaply on the midnight show is the same old ending, time to go. Get out. It seems they cannot leave their dream. There's something moving in the sidewalk steam. And the lamb lies down on Broadway.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do like how the music sounded. I did like the piano playing at the beginning. You know,
Me too. Me too. I love
I
this
thought it
song.
was like a soft opening, and then all of a sudden, just as you hear Phil Collins coming in with the drums, it just hits you in the face. You know.
Hmm. All right. Nighttime's flyers feel their pains. Drugstore takes down the chains. Metal motion comes and bursts, but the gas station can quench that thirst. Suspension cracked on unmade road. The trucker's eyes read overload. And out of the subway, Rail Imperial Aerosol Kid exits into daylight, spray gun hid, and the lamb lies down on Broadway.
I do like, you know,
So,
like when Peter Gabriel sings that part. I like how he sang it. You know.
yeah, me too. The lamb seems right out of place, yet the Broadway street scene finds a focus in its face. Somehow it's lying there, brings a stillness to the air, though man-made light at night is very bright. There's no whitewashed victim, as the neons dim to the coat of white. Rail Imperial Aerosol Kid wipes his gun, he's forgotten what he did. And the lamb lies down on Broadway. Suzanne, Suzanne tired her work all alone, thinks money, honey, be on neon. Cabman's velvet glove sounds the horn, and the sawdust king spits out his scorn. Wonder women who can draw your blind, don't look at me, I'm not your kind. I am Rael. Something inside me has just begun. Lord knows what I have done. And the lamb lies down on Broadway, on Broadway, on Broadway, on Broadway. They say the lights are always bright on Broadway, on Broadway, on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air, on Broadway, on Broadway. They say the lights are always bright on Broadway, on Broadway, on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air.
Yeah, I think we kind of get that. So, yeah, like I said, those last lines were in a reference to you know, that one song I was telling you about here.
Yeah,
Um, no, so yeah, basically, they like Peter Gabriel. He set the story, this whole story in New York City because he wanted Rail to be quote unquote more real, more extrovert, and violent, and portrayed him to be the least likely person to be subjected to quote unquote surreal events like what we will see.
yeah.
The name Rael was chosen as it was not of any particular ethnic origin, but Gabriel soon realized that the Who actually used that same name on the Who sellout. This annoyed him at first, but he stuck to his choice, obviously. So the band also found that Ray, R-A, was common in male names in various nationalities. Rael, like I said, is portrayed as half Puerto Rican, but the other half of his identity is completely unknown. He summarized the concept as quote unquote overcoming fear. He deliberately made the ending ambiguous, but clarified that Rael does not die and compared the ending to the buildup of suspense and drama in a film in which you never see what's so terrifying because they leave it up in the air without labeling it. Phil Collins remarked that the entire concept was about split personality, and obviously, the individual songs made satirical allusions to mythology, sexual revolution, advertising, and consumerism. Gabriel felt that the songs alone were not enough to detail all of the action in the story, but he wrote the full plot on the album's sleeve,
You're
which
reading
I
this
thought
off
was,
Wikipedia. I think I read the same thing as you.
yeah, it's on Wiki. The links to all this stuff will be in the description below, including the album, which I would recommend, obviously. I do like the album, but I just feel some of the music, it just felt like it took away from the prog rock sound. That's just me anyway. Alrighty, next up we got simply titled Fly on a Windshield. Do you ever find
I
a
did not like the first half of the song, but then the second half came in, and I really liked that part.
I am so confused. I'm kind of torn with this song. Like the second half that you're talking about, dude, I just felt it was too hard rockish. It just felt like the genre did not live up to like the Genesis sound, honestly. I don't know why. That's just me, anyways. And then the first half of it, for me, it didn't feel as much. It didn't sound as much as prog rock, but it felt like it was more alternative rock.
Yeah.
You know. Um. All right. So as Rael walks along the street, he sees a dark cloud take the shape of a movie screen and move towards him, absorbing him. Dude, if I seen a dark cloud like that coming after me, I'd fucking hightail it out of there.
Mm.
I would. Just imagine we decide to do like our own interrobang group of short film of this here, but instead we call it like the beer sits there on Broadway, or
Mm.
the beer lies down on First Avenue. Just imagine that. All right. So the lyrics say there's something solid forming in the air, and the wall of death is lowered in Times Square. No one seems to care. How the hell would no one care, dude? I think if it was me, dude, like I said,
Mm.
I'd hightail it out of there. Nobody else ran. They were just like, okay, I'm sure that's somebody like having a huge puff of that Jamaican grass or whatever.
Mm.
They carry on as if nothing was there. How did you not notice it? It was literally physically in front of you. The wind is blowing harder now, blowing dust into my eyes. The dust settles on my skin, making a crust I cannot move in, and I'm hovering like a fly waiting for the windshield on the freeway. I think if I was hovering like a fly, I would actually take it as like I'm being abducted. I think this cloud abducted him, but there's no anal probe happening. You know?
Yeah.
Alrighty, next up we have none other than Broadway Melody of 1974, which is so fucking obvious of a name because let me tell you this, dude. The music did not sound like a melody.
Yeah. I really didn't care for this song.
Yeah. Pretty much it says that he sees an explosion of images of the current day. That would be like the equivalent of my life flashed before my eyes if I was in a near-death
Yeah.
experience. Just imagine that, dude. Just imagine. Rael gets sucked up into this cloud, and instead his life flashes before his eyes and he's just dead, and then bam, the story's over.
Anyway, echoes of the Broadway Everglades, with her mythical Madonna still walking in their shades. Lenny Bruce declares a truce and plays his other hand. Marshall McLuhan, casual viewing, head buried in the sand. Sirens on the roof.
I like how he rhymed Bruce and Truce there. I think that was kind of a savage. And Peter Gabriel don't seem like a rhymer to me.
Yeah, sirens on the rooftops wailing, but there's no ship sailing. Groucho with his movies trailing, stands alone with his punchline failing. Ku Klux Klan serve hot soul food, and the band plays In the Mood. The cheerleader waves her cyanide wand. There's a smell of peach blossom and bitter almond.
Let me
Uh,
quickly get you right there. The KKK serving hot soul food. I guarantee you, you take the cheerleader out and just say the leader waves his cyanide cross or whatever. Anyway, please continue.
yeah, Carol Chessman sniffs the air and leads the parade. He knows in a scent you can bottle all you made. There's Howard Hughes in blue suede shoes,
Howard
smiling at the majorettes,
Hughes!
smoking Winston cigarettes. And as the song and dance begins, the children play at home with needles, needles, and pins.
Winston cigarettes. Were those the same cigarettes that the Flintstones were smoking in them old commercials from the 60s?
I don't fucking know.
I'm surprised you never looked that up. I think there was like maybe something that I saw. They were like old commercials because a lot of these big cigarette companies, tobacco companies back in those days, is right before they put the health warnings on them, they would started
Yeah,
partnering with like movie and television studios to just try and push out their brand.
yeah,
And it was because of the Flintstones commercials. Not only did those get banned, but it was because of that the health warnings started coming in because they said that they actually started getting reports of kids or teens that were actually getting cancer from these cigs.
yep.
I wouldn't know honestly. You know, the only cigarette brands that I've seen because I come from a family of smokers and I don't smoke cigarettes. I've come from a family that smoked like Camels and Marlboros, and that's it. So,
All right, next song is Cuckoo Cocoon, and I kind of found this song a bit boring, personally.
you know what? I was gonna say that the guitar that you hear at the beginning, it sounded more alternative than progressive. And then, like you said, it was pretty boring. I know that there was a instrument that I heard, like how some of them native bands or whatever, or when they're doing like ceremonies, they have them flutes and they play them.
Yeah,
You can hear a little bit of that in there, and I did like the flute part. That was the only thing I liked about it. So, but like you said, it's a song that I probably would not revisit, honestly. Like I
me
said,
neither.
it just the song just sounded more like if it was a freaking Radiohead demo, honestly. Even long before Radiohead even became a thing, like they were only just like toddlers when this album came out. So,
Mm,
okay, so before he wakes up, he ends up waking up after this. After the cloud abducts him and probably anal probed him or some shit like that. He wakes up in a cave and fell asleep once again. Cuckoo Cocoon. All right. Ah, it goes a little like this. Wrapped up in some powdered wool. I guess I'm losing touch. Don't tell me this is dying, 'cause I ain't changed that much. The only sound is water drops. I wonder where the hell I am. Some kind of jam. Now, the sound of water drops, like it's in these caves or whatever that he wakes up in, and you could hear
mhm.
like a water drop pretty well in there because of the echoes inside these caves. So, Cuckoo Cocoon, have I come too soon for you? Oh, have I come too soon for you? I don't know why. They might as well just take one of the twos out from there. It didn't. I just don't know if I could get it. There's
Have they
nothing I
come too soon?
or Cuckoo Cocoon have
It
I quote
works.
unquote came too soon for you.
Hmm.
All right, so there's nothing I can recognize. This is nowhere that I've known, with no sign of life at all. I guess that I'm alone. No shit, Sherlock. And I feel so secure that I know this can't be real, but I feel good. Cuckoo Cocoon, have I come too soon for you? I wonder if I'm a prisoner locked up in some Brooklyn jail, or some sort of Jonah shut up inside the whale. No, I'm still Rael, and I'm stuck in some kind of cage, What could have saved me? Cuckoo Cocoon, have I come too soon for you? I don't know if that Jonah part was supposed to be a reference to Jonah's arc right there because you didn't see shut up inside the whale. But here's the thing, there was no
No, it's a
whale on
reference
that arc.
to Jonah and the whale.
I never fucking read that.
It's from the Bible.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I figured you would know a lot more than me, so. Alrighty, next up we got just simply titled In the Cage. And what can I say about the music here?
It started a bit dull, but it got a bit interesting toward the end.
It started picking up a lot more.
Yeah.
Um for me, dude, I would say like it almost felt like three different suites inside a song or whatnot because it
Yeah.
started very slow, like I said. Then you have this part where it was speeding up, like I'm running out of time or whatever, and then the ending part. It almost the ending of this song right here, where they just do the. It almost reminded me of the ending of them Crooked Vulture's song "Mind Racer, No Chaser."
Hmm.
So the
All right.
story says, as Rael woke up and found himself trapped in a cage of stalactites and stalagmites, like them
Yeah, like in a
caves.
cave.
Yeah, them caves that have them pointy ass rocks or whatever,
Yeah.
which close in towards him. As he tries to escape, he sees many other people in many other cages before spotting his brother John outside. Rael calls to him, but John walks away and the cage suddenly disappears. Wow, John walked away? What a fucking dick.
Hmm.
Dude, I would be, dude, and you know what? If it was me and my sister Brandy, I could actually see her just walking away as I called to her for help. Help! Help! And then as she turns around and walks away, she just sticks out her middle finger behind my back. And I'm like, oh, you fucking bitch. All right, it's your turn, sir.
All right. I got sunshine in my stomach, like I just rocks my baby to sleep. I got sunshine in my stomach, but I can't keep me from creeping sleep. Sleep deep in the deep.
Hmm.
Rock face moves to press my skin. White liquids turn sour within. Turn fast, turn sour, turn sweat, turn sour. Must tell myself that I'm not here. I'm drowning in a liquid fear. Bottled in a strong compression. My distortion shows obsession. In the cave, get me out of this cave. If I keep self control, I'll be safe in my soul, and the childhood belief brings a moment's relief. But my cynic soon returns, and the lifeboat burns. My spirit just never learns. Stalactites, stalagmites, shut me in, lock me tight. Lips are dry, throat is dry. Feel like burning, stomach churning. I'm dressed up in a white costume, padding out leftover room. Body stretching, feel the retching. In the cage, get me out of the cage. In the glare of light, I see a strange kind of sight of cages joined from a star. Each person can't go very far. All tied to their things, they are netted by their strings, free to flutter in memories of their wasted wings. Outside this cage, I see my brother John. He turns his head so slowly round, I cry, help, before he can be gone. And he looks at me without a sound, and I shout out, John, please help me. But he doesn't even want to try to speak. I am helpless in my violent rage, and a silent tear of blood dripples down his cheek, and I watch him turn again and leave the cage, my little runaway. Raindrops keep falling on my head, they keep falling on my rain, etc. In a trap, feel a strap, holding still, pinned for kill. Chances narrow that I'll make it. In the cushioned straight jacket, just like 22nd Street, only got me by my neck and feet. Pressure's building, can't take more. My headaches charge, earaches roar. In this pain, get me out of this pain. If I could change to liquid, I could fill the cracks up in the rocks. I know that I am solid, and I am my own bad luck. Outside, John disappears, and my cage dissolves. Without any reason, my body revolves. Keep on turning, etc., round, 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 etc.
Um, if I could change the liquid, I could fill the cracks up.
Hmm.
Just imagine if Frank Zappa somehow used that in Joe's garage for Cyborg. Poor, very bad joke right there, but I don't care. Okay, so we come to what is among my least favorite songs right here.
I liked the vocals in it, but the instrumentation itself was kind of dull.
Yeah, it's the Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging, and yeah, I didn't like all of it at all. I didn't like the music. I didn't really like the lyrics at all. I don't know what the hell happened. This almost looked like it should have been just a demo, and then you hear a fucking Thomas the Tank Engine just coming through.
Hmm.
I don't know what the hell Thomas the Tank Engine was doing in a realm like this. They don't even have a name for this world or whatever kind of thing, you know? Well, I don't know what he was doing there, but either way, according to the story here, Rael now finds himself on the floor of a factory and is given a tour of the area by a woman where he watches people being processed like packages. He spots old members of his New York City gang and also John with the number 9 stamped on his forehead. Fearing for his life, Rael escaped the corridor. Um, like I said, dude, I don't know what the hell Thomas the Tank Engine had to do with being inside a factory.
Hmm.
Maybe they were building him too at the time. I don't fucking know. All right, so it's my turn for the lyrics.
Yep.
All right. It's the last great adventure left to mankind. Screams a drooping lady offering her dream dolls at less than extortionate prices. And as the notes and coins are taken out, I'm taken into the factory floor. For the Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging, all ready to use. The Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging, I just need a fuse. Got people stocked in every shade, must be doing well with trade, stamped, addressed in odd fatality that evens out their personality with profit potential marked by a sign. I can recognize some of the production line. No bite at all in labor bondage, just wrinkled wrappers or human bandage. Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging, all ready to use. It's the Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging. I just need a fuse. The hall runs like clockwork. Their hands mark out the time, emptying their fullness like a frozen pantomime. Everyone's a sales representative, wearing slogans in their shrine, dishing out a fail-safe superlative. Brother John is number 9.
Superlative.
Is that really how it sounds?
Yeah, superlative.
Huh. Well, either way, it repeats the Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging already used. It's the Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging. I just need a fuse. The decor on the ceiling has planned out their future day. I see no sign of free will, so I guess I have to pay my way. For the Grand Parade for the Grand Parade. It's the Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging all ready to use. It's the Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging. I just need a fuse. The Grand Parade, the Grand Parade, the Grand Parade, Grand Parade. Um, could you imagine if something like this existed in the 1800s during slavery?
I could see it.
They just have a factory that's there in Africa, and then they just put like how many slaves whoever orders like however many for the slave owners, and then they ship them off to wherever in the southern U.S. It almost feels like it was kind of like that, but the part that just gets me is lifeless packaging because these people are essentially dead or whatever. I don't know. Um. Oh fuck. Okay, so next up we move on to the next song, which is Back in NYC, and I'm sorry, dude. I'm just gonna say it. So this is the first song that includes the synthesizer, and you know synthesizers play a huge role in progressive rock. But I'm sorry, dude, but the synthesizer to me just went way too fucking hard.
Yeah, I did not like this song.
The one thing is that when it comes to the synthesizers, dude, if you listen to Dark Side of the Moon, they had it at the right tone for a very calm, peaceful kind of setting, but it felt like the synthesizer just slapped way too fucking hard on this song. I was kind of torn with this, but it's like I said, it's because it just didn't feel like a progressive song at all here. It really didn't. Anyway, so No, Rael escapes the corridor and he ends up having an extended flashback of returning from a gang raid in New York City. And he ends up having a dream where his hairy heart is removed and shaved with a razor, which would be back in NYC. And then the next song that we will cover, that we will talk about, which is just simply titled Hairless Heart. So I'll just put those two stories together. So,
Okay.
but like I said, I I'm just torn with this song because, like I said, the synthesizer, I do like synthesizers, but it just felt like it slapped way too fucking hard, honestly. Alrighty, it's your turn, sir.
All right. I see faces and traces of home back in New York City, huh? You think I'm a tough kid? Is that what you heard? Yeah, well, I like to see some action, and it gets into my blood. They call me the Trailblazer, Rail, Electric Razor. I'm the pitcher in a chain gang. We don't believe in pain. 'Cause we're only as strong, yes, we're only as strong as the weakest link in the chain. Let me out of Pontiac when I was just 17. I had to get it out of me, if you know what I mean, what I mean. Ah, you say I must be crazy, 'cause I don't care who I hit. But I know it's me that's hitting out, and I'm not full of shit. I don't care who I hurt. I don't care who I do wrong. This is your mess I'm stuck in. I really don't belong. When I take out my bottle filled up high with gasoline, you can tell by the night fires where Rael has been. As I cuddled the porcupine, he said I had none to blame but me. Held my heart, held my heart deep in hair. Time to shave it off, it off. No time for romantic escape, no time. When your fluffy heart is ready for rape, no time, no. Time for romantic escape. It repeats. Off we go, off we go, off we go, off we go. You're sitting in your comfort. You don't believe I'm real. You cannot buy protection from the way that I feel. Your progressive hypocrites hand out their trash, but it was mine in the first place, so I'll burn it to ash. And I've tasted all the strongest meats and laid them down on colored sheets. Laid them down in colored sheets. Who needs illusion of love and affection when you're out walking in the streets with your mainline connection? As I cuddled the porcupine, he said that I had none to blame but me. Held my heart deep in hair. Time to shave it off, it off. And that's pretty much it.
Um, oh yeah, there's a one more paragraph that's right here. I'll read it quick.
Oh,
No
it's a
time.
repeat of something said earlier.
Okay, never mind. I got you. Now, here are two things that I take away from this song right here. One, I heard something that I don't think was ever done before in a Genesis song. Peter Gabriel fucking cussed by saying
Hmm.
shit. And then number two, as I cuddled the porcupine, how fucking high do you have to be to cuddle with something that's gonna end up stabbing you with its
Hmm.
ass? Oh, and then also he says rape right here. When your fluffy heart is ready for
Yeah.
rape. Okay, so Rael essentially is having his chest raped. I think he knows how Joe feels
Hmm.
when he was getting all that butt fucking or plooping in prison.
Pluking.
Fluking. I don't know, dude. You know the lyrics better than I do, so.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I said, dude, this song, dude, so much potential, but Jesus fucking Christ. All right, we get to the Hairless Heart, obviously, which is the next song. And obviously, it's just what it is. His heart just got taken out and it's being shaved off. How the fuck do you shave an organ, anyways?
Hmm. I know this is just an instrumental song, but I really liked it.
I thought the first part, dude, it did sound very how can I say it, dude? It sounded peaceful. Do I think it's a bad instrumental? Um, I don't really think so. It did sound pretty nice. It felt like it felt like during the second half of it, it felt like it was kind of building back up to what we were gonna get to with the story. That kind of thing. But yeah, it's an instrumental, so we'll just skip to the next one. I'm gonna let you take that song here. So it's basically called Counting Out Time, and it's just pretty much Rael having his first sexual encounter. If I had a song that explained my first sexual encounter, I would have called it Cherry Pie.
Hmm.
Don't sue me, Warrant, please. Consider it as a tribute to you bastards.
All right, counting out time. I'm counting out time, got the whole thing down by numbers, all those numbers. Give me guidance, oh Lord, I need that now. The day of judgment's come, and you can bet that I've been resting for this testing, digesting every word the experts say. Erogenous zones, I love you. Without you, what would a poor boy do? I found a girl I wanted to date, thought I'd better get it straight. Went to buy a book before it's too late. Don't leave nothing to fate. I studied every line, every page in the book, and now I've got the real thing here. I'm gonna take a look, take a look. This is it, Rail. I'm counting out time, hoping it goes like I planned, 'cause I understand it. Look, I've found the hot spots, figured 1 to 9, still counting out time. I got my finger on the button. Don't say nothing, just lie there still and I'll get you turned on just fine. Erogenous zones, I love you. Without you, what would a poor boy do? Touch and go with 1 to 6, bit of trouble in zone number 7. Gotta remember all my tricks. There's heaven ahead in number 11. Getting crucial responses with dilation of pupils. Honey, get hip. It's time to unzip. To unzip, zip, zip a zip a zip. Whippy!
Whippy! Oh, and
Put
then
it away,
here's
Mr.
let
Guitar.
me.
Move over, Casanova.
I was gonna say right before you continue on, dude. This is the music that I don't know how the fuck Frank Zappa did not think of adding something like this on Joe's Garage, but the
Hmm.
I don't know why. The music, dude, I really just couldn't get into it, but some reason that one part after zip 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 whippy it made me laugh
I thought
while
this
I
song
was
was all right.
yeah, it the musical part right here, it's something where you sarcastically laugh while you're feeling dead inside is how I would describe it. I wasn't really a fan of this song, but I did feel like they put it at the right spot because they needed something to continue after Hairless Heart, you know? If they would have just taken like Hairless Heart and actually put it with Counting Out Time and just called it Counting Out Time, it probably would have worked more. That's just me anyways, so anyway, you can
Yeah.
continue.
I'm counting out time. Ooh, 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 ah, 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 ah. Reaction unto happy.
Who are
Please
you,
don't slap
Curious
me.
George?
I'm a red-blooded male, and the book said I could not fail. I'm counting out time. Ooh, ooh, ah, 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 ah. I got unexpected distress from my mistress. I'll get my money back from the bookstore right away. Erogenous zones, I question you. Without you, what would a poor boy do? Ooh, ah. Without you, what would a poor boy do? Ooh, ah. Without you, mankind hand kinds through the blues.
Okay, so there was a while back where you said ooh, ooh ah ah or whatever, and I asked you, "Are you Curious George?" And then you just
Hmm.
continued the lyrics saying, "I'm a red-blooded male," and I thought that was so fucking. What the fuck am I doing with my life doing this
Hmm.
shit? Okay, so next up we come to what I thought. I kind of like this one honestly. The Carpet Crawlers.
Thought it
Um,
had a nice build to it, but it wasn't my favorite.
yeah. I mean, here's the thing about it. Like, it did feel very proggy like. Let me explain this to you with how I would describe the music. It would almost sound like if you took the instrumentation from Comfortably Numb and Us and Them by Pink Floyd and you take How to Disappear Completely from Radiohead's Kid A. That's how I would describe the instrumentation on this song, to be honest with you. The fuck was that?
What?
I heard a boom, boom, boom. It ain't my phone, or unless, wait a minute. Oh, it's my work handheld. It's at
Yep.
20%. I thought I was hearing things, but I thought I kind of like the song. Like if I feel like if I was getting stoned, this would probably be a song I could get high to, honestly. But that's just me. Um, so this is the only other song that even has a Wikipedia page. There were only two songs that had wiki pages. Okay, so it was recorded. It was the song tells the section of this album story where Rael, the lead character, finds himself in a red carpeted corridor surrounded by kneeling people crawling towards a wooden door. Let me ask you this: were they chained together, or did they have their mouths sewn to the other guy's buttholes to make a human centipede? You know what I'm talking about, do you?
I know. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so the story continues on to say Rael dashes by them towards the door and goes through it. Behind the door is a table with a candle-lit feast on it, and behind that, a spiral staircase that leads upwards out of sight. Why do I feel like that sounded like I'm at fucking Hogwarts when I heard that shit or read that? Candlelit feast in the commons of Hogwarts, yeah. And then all their stairs were spiraling. Well, with the exception of the ones in that big hallway where the stairs move up and down or whatever. Oh, I just hit my down tab. Okay, so I'm just seeing if there's anything else that I have. Oh yeah, this according to Pop Matters, which is a international online magazine. They cited the song The Carpet Crawlers as one of the all-time examples of progressive rock perfection.
I disagree.
It's up to interpretation, but I don't know if they would have added more to it, honestly. Like, I do like how the music sounded, but I feel like if they could have added more to it, they could have did more with this. Why do you disagree with that again?
I know, I just didn't really like the song a whole lot. I thought it was all right, but
yeah, I mean,
I know there are better songs and there are proggier songs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like I said, I described this. I had described the interpretation of instrumentation of this as if you're listening to "Comfortably Numb," "Us and Them," and "How to Disappear Completely" by Radiohead. So, like I said, that's my take on it. It's not a song I will listen to a lot, but I did download it, so if it's there, I'll listen to it. Alrighty, there is lamb's wool under my naked feet. The wool is soft and warm, gives off some kind of feet. Lamb's wool under my naked feet. It's soft and warm. Gives off some... I'm sure it's the same as
Yeah.
We're just gonna leave it at that. Anyway. A salamander scurries into flame to be destroyed. Imaginary creatures are trapped in birth on celluloid. The fleas cling to the golden fleece, hoping they'll find peace. Each thought and gesture are caught in celluloid. There's no hiding in memory. There's no room to avoid. The crawlers cover the floor in the red orchard corridor. For my second sight of people, they've more lifeblood than before. They're moving in time to a heavy wooden door. Where the needle's eye is winking, closing on the poor. The carpet crawlers heed their callers. We've got to get in to get out, and it repeats it 2 more times. There's only one direction in the faces that I see. It's upward to the ceiling, where the chamber is said to be like the forest fight for sunlight that takes root in every tree. They are pulled up by the magnet, believing they're free. The carpet crawlers heed their callers. We got to get in to get out. Repeats 2 more times. Mild-mannered supermen are held in kryptonite, and the wise and foolish virgins giggle with their bodies glowing bright. Through the door, a harvest feast as lit by candlelight. It's the bottom of a staircase that spirals out of sight. The carpet crawlers heed their callers. We gotta get in to get out. Repeats 2 more times. The porcelain mannequin with shattered skin fears attack. And the eager pack lift up their pitchers. They carry all they lack. The liquid has congealed, which has seeped out through the crack, and the ticker takes the stickle back. The carpet crawlers heed their callers. We gotta get in to get out. Repeats 2 more times, and then we gotta get in to get out. And then it repeats it for the rest of the song. Dude, does this not sound like a pitch for a fucking Harry Potter film?
Hmm.
I don't know, dude. I don't know why I'm thinking that, honestly. Um, there was something else that I wanted to mention. Um, yeah, that is it. Yeah, I can't think of it anymore. So, all right, let's see where we're at quick on this. Here, um, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the next song, and then we are going to take a break. Does that sound okay to you, man?
Yeah.
All right, let me get back to where I was as I'm reading this on Wiki. The next song we get to um, is The Chamber of 32 Doors. Honestly, it's like a iffy kind of song that I'll listen to. I don't really care much about it, but I'll listen to it.
I liked it. I really liked this song.
Yeah. Um, like I said, dude, yeah, they call it progressive rock, but this whole thing so far has been feeling more like hard rock and art rock. I don't know why. Okay, so at the top of those stairs, after he climbs up them, like fucking Harry Potter did at Hogwarts, he enters a chamber with 32 doors, surrounded by people, and is unable to concentrate. How could you not be able to concentrate? Did you end up getting like amnesia or something while you ran up there, Rael? Are you okay, dude? Are you having a little bit of that? That's just me, anyways. All right, dude. I'll let you close off this half portion of the program.
All right, at the top of the stairs, there's hundreds of people running around to all the doors. They try to find themselves an audience. Their deductions need applause. The rich man stands in front of me, the poor man behind my back. They believe they can control the game, but the juggler holds another pack. I need someone to believe in, someone to trust. I need someone to believe in, someone to trust. I'd rather trust a countryman than a town man. You can judge by his eyes. Take a look if you can. He'll smile through his guard. Survival trains hard. I'd rather trust a man who works with his hands. He looks at you once, you know he understands. Don't need any shield when you're out in the field. But down here, I'm so alone with my fear, with everything that I hear, and every single door that I've walked through brings me back here again. I've got to find my own way. The priest and the magician singing all the chants and that they have ever heard, and they're all calling out my name, even academics searching printed word. My father to the left of me, my mother to the right, like everyone else they're pointing, but no one feels quite right. And I need someone to believe in, someone to trust. I need someone to believe in, someone to trust. I'd rather trust a man who doesn't shout what he's found. There's no need to sell if you're homeward
Go
bound.
ahead and continue reading the lyrics. I'm getting a phone call from my mom.
Okay. If I choose a side, he wouldn't take me for a ride. Back inside the chamber of so many doors, I have nowhere to hide. I'd give you all of my dreams if you'd help me. Find a door that doesn't lead me back again. Take me away.
Sorry about that. It was my mom calling. She apparently doesn't know when to not call during my recording. I told her we were recording. So, anyway, please continue.
Oh, I finished the lyrics.
Oh, you did? All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. Well, if I would have known that I could have just had her keep waiting, and I would have called her during break. But either way, we're at the halfway portion of this album, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna take a quick break. I need a drink and I need a masturbate, so I'm gonna probably quickly call my mom back. Actually, right during the break. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back. Aegis, you want to say anything before we sign off for a minute?
I got nothing.
All right. Don't go anywhere, folks. Welcome back to the podcast that makes you fall in love with progressive rock, the Roger Radio Show. And I'm also here with the biggest expert in prog rock, Aegis Levity, who we all know as Frank Zappa and Charles Manson's love child. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the halfway point here. We have reviewed the Chamber of 32 Doors. Some reason I wanted to call it the Chamber of Secrets. I don't know why. But I hope you're all liking this podcast so far. If you're Genesis fans, let us know in the comments below. If you have any other albums or topics we should talk about, let us know in the comments. And let's get back into it. So the next song that we're going to do is Lily White Lilith. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't like this song either. It's probably my second most disliked song. What was that?
I liked it. I really liked the song. I thought it was pretty cool.
Here's the
It's
thing
not one of my favorite ones, but I still liked it.
Here's the thing about this song, dude. Like, the reason why I say I don't like it is mainly because this is supposed to be a progressive rock band, but it almost sounded like they ended up bringing in a tamer version of Led Zeppelin into doing the recording of this song. You know? That's just me anyways, you know? But I will say this, so compared to The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, you know, like, this song really wakes you up from the intermission, you know, like,
yeah.
All right, so according to the story, let me find it quick. Here we go. Rael ends up finding a blind woman who leads him simply out of the chamber. How was she able to lead him out of it? But Aegis, did she have a fucking seeing eye dog that helped? I mean, did she have a cane?
She might be using echolocation.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, it's... Peter Gabriel, how much fucking hemp were you smoking to think of this shit? Here's the thing, dude. Like, in my opinion, Peter Gabriel's greatest work was his solo album, just simply titled So. You know, that had the likes of the song Sledgehammer, and can't remember the other song where Deadpool was being gay to one of the guys from the Deadpool movie, you know? That album, I believe, was his greatest work. And I'm torn with what was his best work in Genesis. They say it's this album, but what do you think, honestly?
I know I haven't listened to much Genesis because I know I never really cared for the music a whole lot. But I know that I could see this being his best work because I do really like this album.
Yeah. I mean, they have a 50-year anniversary vinyl box that I do want to get. It's only $200 on their website, and as soon as a tax time comes, I'm fucking buying that motherfucker. I don't care. I'm buying it. Or if I end up somehow get a big bonus from work, maybe I would. But then, of course, I don't know how it'll work out because I ended up changing my schedule or my shift hours. So, but that's a whole other story that we'll just not talk about, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, so it starts like this. The chamber was in confusion. All the voices shouting loud. Yeah, and this song was fucking loud as hell too. I could only hear a voice quite never say, "Please help me," through the crowd. Said if I helped her through, she could help me too. Oh, so Rael had to help the blind woman out to find where she could go. So that all makes sense now. It actually does. Otherwise, I was like, man, she must be a real badass. You know? Okay, so, but I could see that she was wholly blind, but from her pale face and her pale skin, a moonlight shined. I'm going to leave it at, I'm just going to not touch that. Lily White Lilith. She going to take you through the tunnel of night. Lily White Lilith. She going to lead you right. When I'd led her through the people, the angry noise began to grow. She said, "Let me feel the way the breezes blow, and I'll show you where to go." Oh, some more good rhymes, Mr. Gabriel. Very well played. So,
Thought you were just gonna say, those were some great rhymes, Mr. Gay.
Mr. Gay, or just Mr. Gabe. So I
Nice
followed her.
rhymes, Mr. Gay. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you prick. So I followed her into a big round cave. She said, "They're coming for you. Now don't be afraid." Then she sat me down on a cold stone throne, carved in jade. Who was coming for him? Did he have like a fucking angry mob or something that was coming after him? What did he do to him? I don't think he did anything to these fucking people. I don't think he did. Anyways, Lily White Lilith, she gonna take you through the tunnel of night. Lily White Lilith, she gonna lead you right. She leaves me in my darkness. I have to face my fear, and the darkness closes in on me. I can hear a whirring. I can't, dude. That's so fucking hard to say. It says whirring sound growing near. You know, and it sounds like if you say whirling, but it ain't whirling. I can see the corner of the tunnel lit up by whatever's coming here. Two golden globes float into the room, and a blaze of white light fills the air. Also, somebody's two Golden Globe Awards actually were able to light his way. Okay. I don't know. That's just me. Like I said, dude, like I just could not relate to this song because like I said, dude, this is Genesis. It's progressive rock, but it did not sound progressive at all, dude. It just sounded more like hard rock stuff. Like, is it Peter Gabriel trying to break into the hard rock scene? Did he end up hanging out with Robert Plant and Led Zeppelin or The Who and be like, hey, you know, maybe I should do something with this?
All right.
Next up, we got The Waiting Room, and I'll be honest with you, this is another song that I did not like at all.
This is my second favorite song on the album.
Yeah, I did not like it at all. It every time I've listened to this, dude, I swear to God, I feel like there's something stalking me, literally. Like,
No, I really liked The Waiting Room. It was my second favorite song on the whole album.
yeah. Anyway, it doesn't really. They don't have anything that has the story on here, but I'll just say, like, he was probably just waiting there. It was probably right after that blind woman sat him down or something like that. That's what I'm gonna say right there. So, but yeah, like I said, dude, I felt like every time I hear this song, I probably, if I was listening to this song while I was walking to work, dude, I would probably have to keep looking behind me to see if anyone's stalking me. That's just me anyway, so.
All right, on to Anyway.
Yep, just anyway, speaking of anyway. Okay, so the story goes that Rael goes into another cave where he becomes trapped by falling rocks. And you know what, dude? Some reason the fucking piano right here almost reminded me of you know that once that movie that was in the Fast and Furious series that was Paul Walker's last movie before he died, and they played that one song at the end that got fucking memed how many times? Some reason this fucking reminded me of it. I don't know, dude. And speaking of looking behind with the waiting room, you just look like is somebody about to attack me or what?
Hmm.
I don't know. All right, let me just double check one more time. Okay, we're on track. So I'm gonna read this one here quick.
Okay.
All the pumping's nearly over for my sweetheart. This is the one for me. Time to meet the chef. Oh boy, the running man is out of death. Feel cold and old. It's getting hard to catch my breath. It's back to ash. Now you've had your flash boy. The rocks in time compress. Okay, so I'm confused with this song right here. You know, like I'm not sure how to feel, but I did like how the lyrics sounded.
Yeah.
But at times, for some reason, while Peter Gabriel had that good flow going, it felt like at times it felt like he was kept getting off key or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah, he's a good
Yeah.
lyricist, so.
Yeah, so it says here the song is mainly about death and covers the topic in several ways. Rael has gone through the waiting room and is facing his impending end.
Yep. Which makes sense because of the piano playing, you know.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Your the rocks in time compress, your blood to oil, your flesh to coal. Up. That just gave me a reminder of when we reviewed System of a Down's Mesmerize. For your blood to oil.
Hmm.
Gave
Yep.
me a trigger right there for System of a Down, man. Your flesh to coal, enrich the soil, not everybody's goal. Anyway, they say she comes to a pale or comes on a pale horse. Comes on a pale horse. She came on a fucking horse? What the fuck is wrong with you, lady? What the
The
fuck is
term pale horse is definitely a reference to the book of Revelations.
Oh, yep, I know the book of Revelations there. Is that supposed to be something that's like the Bible or that's inside the Bible or
Yeah, yeah, it's the last section of the Bible. Well, last
Okay,
book of the Bible.
I got you, yeah. But I'm sure I hear a train. Oh boy, I don't even feel no pain. I guess I must be driving myself insane. Damn it all. Does Peter, you fucking said damn. He said damn, dude. Does Earth plug a hole in heaven? Or heaven plug a hole in the earth? That is a really good question right there.
Excuse me.
Really good question, indeed. How wonderful to be so profound when everything you are is dying on the ground. I feel the pull on the rope. Let me off at the rainbow. I could have been exploding in space, different orbits for my bones. Not me, just quietly buried in stones. Keep the deadline open with my maker. See me stretch for God's elastic acre. The doorbell rings and it's good morning, Rael. So sorry you had to wait. It won't be long. Yeah, she's very, very rarely late. Dude, that almost sounded like a reference to, I know this is like about death and whatnot, like you said, but
Yeah.
so sorry you had to wait. It's almost like if you're at a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment and you've been waiting there reading like a magazine or being on your phone for an hour.
Yeah, it's referring to the waiting room.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, then we get to here comes the supernatural anesthetist.
Anesthetist.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so he death ends up arriving and gasses Rael with a supernatural whatever the fuck it was again. And then this is where I hear the synthesizer and I'm sorry but no.
This is my third favorite song on the album.
Like I said with the synthesizer, no. No. All right, you go right ahead, man.
All right. Uh, Here comes the supernatural anesthetist. If he wants you to snuff it, all he has to do is puff it. He's such a fine dancer, and that's it.
He's such a fine dancer, but imagine if Peter Gabriel said, he'll give you cancer. Well, to rhyme with dancer, But here's the thing with the music. Like, here comes the supernatural, whatever the fuck it is. I can't even say it correctly, but if it sounded a lot more grim, to be honest with you, dude, it probably would have worked, because of the plot of the story.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's just me, anyways. Okay, so next up, we get to what is probably my most favorite song here, The Lamia.
I wasn't honestly a big fan of this. I liked the ending of this song, but the rest I wasn't a big fan of.
I liked it mainly because of the lyrics.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who are wondering, the Lamia are basically ancient Greek mythology. They were child-eating monsters and in later tradition were regarded as the type of night-haunting spirit or daemon. They're basically like female snakes who are like half snake on the bottom and then half woman on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's why I told Aegis flat out I wanted to read the lyrics for this song because I don't know what it is. I like the music of it, you know, like I don't know what it is. The lyrics I really liked and the music I did like, and like you said with the ending music, dude, I did like the ending music myself. But okay, so what happened was is Rael believes himself to still be alive and he manages to escape the cave. He dismisses death as a hallucination. He ends up with a pool with three Lamia, beautiful snake-like creatures, and has sex with them. But they die after drinking some of his blood and then eats their corpses. Uh, uh, how the fuck does this even work? He was having probably the best sex of his life. They fucking die on him and he cannibalizes them? Who is he, Hannibal Lecter?
Hmm.
How the fuck does that work? How does
Hey,
that
don't
fucking work?
hey, don't knock it till you try it.
Dude, it's almost like the reminder of when we reviewed Cyborg from Joe's Garage. Joe was having a great time with that fucking robot, and he ends up coming all over the soul of robot, and it freaking short circuits, and he goes to prison for I don't know how many years. We still haven't figured that out. But right here, he just straight up eats the remains, dude. He fucking Hannibal Lectered their ass. I mean, my only question is, how the hell did he have intercourse with them? Like, I don't, like, I'm sorry, dude, but I don't know how, snakes, like, multiply or whatnot, to be honest with you. Like,
Who fucking knows, dude?
this is already confusing enough as it is,
Anyway,
dude. I mean, fuck, bro. I mean, it's almost like the equivalent of not just the Hannibal Lecter stuff, but also freaking that one story that happened in Germany where those two guys met and they fucked and then one guy ate the other guy. Oh. I might as well just get started with this because I'm getting too much of a headache trying to figure this shit out. It goes a little like this. The scent grows richer. He knows he must be near. He finds a long passageway lit by chandelier. Each step he takes, the perfumes change from familiar fragrance to flavors strange. A magnificent chamber meets his eye, and then the melody that you hear right after this part right here, I actually did like that melody. Inside, a long rose water pool is shrouded by fine mist. Stepping in the moist silence, with a warm breeze, he's gently kissed. Thinking he is quite alone, he enters the room as if it were his own. But ripples on the sweet pink water reveal some company unthought of. Rael stands astonished, doubting his sight, struck by beauty, gripped in fright. Three vermilion snakes of female face, the smallest motion filled with grace. Muted melodies fill the echoing hall, but there is no sign of warning in the siren's call. Rael, welcome. We are the Lamia of the pool. We have been waiting for our waters to bring you cool. Putting fear beside him, he trusts in beauty blind. God knows I fucking did that how many times. He slips into the nectar, leaving his shredded clothes behind. With their tongues they test, taste, and judge all that is mine. They move in a series of caresses that glide up and down my spine.
Roger fuck snakes.
Just imagine that. Yeah, Rail straight up but fucking went full bestiality and then to cannibalism. That's not even fucking physically or biologically possible. As they nibble the fruit of my flesh, I feel no pain. Probably has been drinking a lot, probably before he's decided to go in there. Only a magic that a name would stain. With the first drop of my blood in their veins, their faces are convulsed in mortal pains. The fairest cries, we all have loved you, Rael. You just fucking met the guy!
Hmm.
They just fucking met the guy and they're like, oh, we already love you, la, 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 and all that. Each empty
Like
snake.
how you're confused about like how the fuck is he fucking a snake woman, but you're not like what how the fuck is there a snake woman in the first place, you know?
Well, like I said, Lamias are like Greek mythology stuff, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, 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 I know, but it's like
But how the fuck does this work anyway? You know, like
yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think it's the confusion of the song is what gets me too. So each empty snake-like body floats, silent sorrow and empty boats. A sickly sourness fills the room, the bitter harvest of a dying bloom. Looking for motion I know I will not find. I stroke the curls now turning pale, in which I lain untwined. O Lamia, your flesh that remains I will take as my food. It is the scent of garlic that lingers on my chocolate fingers. If your fingers were made out of chocolate, why didn't you just fucking eat your fingers, Rael? And then here's the thing, though. It is the scent of garlic. Were these snakes that like garlic flavored? Dude, I'm getting such a fucking headache even thinking about this shit right now, dude. Fuck this, dude. Fuck this. This here is probably my favorite part right here. Looking behind me, the water turns icy blue. You know, like it turned to full ice or whatever. The
Yeah.
lights are dimmed, and once again, the stage is set for you. What stage were you? Was he gonna be in a fucking play after he fucked a few snakes and ate them instead of eating his chocolate flavored fingers? I need a fucking drink after that, dude. Like, I'm serious, dude. Like, how the fuck did that even work, dude? It's not even biologically possible. Rael ended up committing bestiality, cannibalized the fuck out of them instead of eating his chocolate flavored fingers.
I don't fucking know, dude.
Just end my life, please. I can't do this anymore. Anyway, let's
Anyway,
go to the next song.
Silent Sorrow and Empty Boats did not care for it.
I didn't either. I think it was pretty much just him sitting on a boat. He's probably still crying over those snakes that he fucked. That's my interpretation on it.
Yeah, the title is mentioned in the last song, which acts as a transition between Rael's encounter with the Lamia and the Slipperman.
Yeah. But then I would also take like listening to the music as him just thinking about, dude, I really want to go home. Just probably thinking about it, you know, like I want to go home, man. Alrighty, so this here I had to obviously find or on genius.com because it's not on fucking YouTube Music for some reason.
Yeah.
So the song, it starts with 2 minutes of whatever the fuck I was listening to. It sounds like something that's from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Hmm.
And then you hear just some silence, and then it starts with bup-a-dee-bup. So basically, it's the colony of slipper men, and there's 3 different suites that were included in this song, and we're gonna break them down piece by piece.
Can
Basically,
I say one thing first?
yeah,
Honestly, this is my favorite song on the album. I loved the Colony of Slippermen. It's a really good song.
it's my second favorite behind the Lamia.
Yeah.
I actually did like it. I actually did like the instrumentation in it, and actually the synthesizer actually works in this song here. This is the only time that I think the synthesizer that's hit this hard actually worked in a fucking song on this album, honestly. You know?
All right.
So the story continues on to say, that it's broken up into three different suites, which we will get into. The song is called The Colony of Slippermen, but there are three different suites: A, The Arrival; B, A Visit to the Doctor; and C, The Raven. If it ends up being the same Raven that's from Tales of Mystery and Imagination, I wouldn't be surprised.
Nevermore.
Yeah, right. Nevermore, nevermore, and all that. So, okay, so it starts with leaving by the same door he came in through. He finds himself in a group of slippermen, distorted, grotesque men who have had all the same experience with the Lamia and say he has become one of them, the Arrival. And I actually looked at the outfit because Peter Gabriel wore one of these outfits when he was doing the tour for this album, and they basically look like a bunch of grotesque men that had a bunch of pimples and zits or whatever. They look like mutants. So I
Yeah.
would say. Okay, so I'll let you get the Arrival here.
Okay. Uh, Buppity bup. I wandered lonely as a cloud till I came upon this dirty street. I've never seen a stranger cloud. I've never seen a stranger crowd, slubberdigullions on squeaky feet, continually pacing with nonchalant embracing, each orifice disgracing, and one facing me moves to say, "Hele." His skin's all covered in slimy lumps with lips that slide across each chin. His twisted limbs like rubber stamps are waved in welcome, say, "Please join in." My grip must be flipping 'cause his handshake keeps slipping. My hopes keep on dipping, and his lips are keep on smiling all the time.
Oh, can
And the
I read the
Slipperman's,
Slipperman lines, please?
yeah,
Okay, so yeah, I'll just read it for these parts, but then the next part I'm gonna read as normal. But I liked how he talked like the Slipperman, like how he did the voices. He goes, I guess,
mm-hmm.
We like you. Taste it loud. Don't be alarmed at what you see. You yourself are just the same as what you see in me.
Me, like you, like that.
um, yeah,
You better watch it, son. Your sins has only just begun. You better run and join your brother John.
I don't know why. It's just the fucking lyrics that were just kind of hilarious. Like I loved how he did the voice for that, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes on to say for the next part, which is a visit to the doctor, it's with a K, not a C. Rael finds John among the Slippermen, who reveals that the only way to become a human again is to visit a doctor named Dr. Diaper and be castrated.
Dr. Diaper.
And they had to be fucking castrated.
Yep.
They had to have their fucking dicks chopped off by a doctor.
Yep, they got castrated by Dr. Diaper.
By a guy who's probably wearing adult fucking diapers.
Dr. Diaper. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, fucking A, dude. The fuck is wrong with these people here? I don't know why, but some reason that sounds like the equivalent of the fucking ending of whatever that fucking Nicolas Cage movie was with Not the Bees.
Oh, the Wicker Man.
Yeah. Just imagine that's how it goes. John and Rael get captured by Slippermen, and then their castration's like the Wicker Man, like not instead of not the bees, it's not my penis, not my penis.
Hmm.
Anyway, next up we get to a visit to the doctor, which I'll read. It's just simply you're in the colony of Slippermen. There's no who, why, what, or when. You get out if you've got the gripe to see Dr. Diaper, reformed sniper. He was a fucking sniper.
Hold
He'll
up.
whip off your windscreen
The windshield
wiper.
wiper. Windscreen wiper. John and I are able to face the
Hey, yeah,
doctor
I'll
and
get it.
his
I'll
marble
get it.
table.
I'll read it. John and I are able to face the doctor and his marble table. He say, "Understand, Rael? That's the end of your tale." God damn! Fuck! I'm cringing right now just thinking about it right now. I'm like literally. You know those fucking videos that you see where you like don't flinch or whatnot? I'm literally fucking
Yep.
flinching at this shit right here, dude.
Don't cringe, you mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, read the next line. Read the
Yeah.
next line.
Next up is the Raven, and I think it's
No, no,
probably the
no, no,
same.
no. You skipped a couple lines.
No, I read. No, I was gonna say, downloaded these on Genius.com, and that was all there was.
There was a line that said, "Don't delay, dock the dick. I watch his countdown timer tick."
It don't matter, dude. It's still fucked. This is so fucked, dude.
Mm,
We get to the Raven, which is probably the same Raven that's probably from Tales of Mystery and Imagination by the Alan Parsons Project. It goes on to say, both are fucking castrated and they keep the removed penises in containers around their necks. Rael's container is taken by a raven and he chases after it, leaving John behind. The raven drops the container in the ravine and into a Russian underground river. Please continue, dude. I'm
All right.
already.
He places the number into a tube. It's a plastic yellow shooby dooby doo. It says, "Through your fingers may tick, though your fingers may tickle, you'll be safe in our pickle." Suddenly, a black cloud come down from the sky. It's a supersized blackbird that sure can fly. The raven brings on darkness and night. He flies right down, gives me one hell of a fright. He takes the tube right out of my hands. Man, I gotta find out where that blackbird lands. Look here, John, I gotta run. I need you now. You going to come? He says to me. Now,
Dude,
can't you see
you
what?
gonna come? You can't fucking come because your penis has been whacked off, dude. He can't fucking come because of that.
Anyway,
Continue, continue.
yeah. Now, can't you see where the raven flies? There's jeopardy. We've been cured on the couch. Now you're sick with your grouch. I'll not risk my honey pouch, which my slouch will wear slung very low. He walks away and leaves me once again, even though I never learn. I had hoped he'd show just some concern, some concern. I'm in the agony of slipper pain. I pray my undercarriage will sustain. The chase is on, the pace is hot, but I'm running so very hard with everything that I've got. He leads me down to an under he leads me down an underpass. Though it narrows, he still flies very fast. When the tunnel stops, catch sight of the tube just as it drops. I'm on top of a bank too steep to climb. I see it hit the water just in time to watch it float away, watch it float away, watch it float away. Ache, make, lake, slake, wake, snake, flake, take.
Dude, how the fuck? He just.
What?
How the fuck did Rail go from fucking three snakes, having them die on him, cannibalizes the fuck out of them instead of eating his so-called chocolate flavored fingers, then ends up into a corridor with a bunch of mutated ass people that are probably from the sewers of Futurama, goes to see a doctor who's probably wearing adult diapers, lets him chop his fucking dick off, and lets the Raven from Tales of Mystery and Imagination take it, and then drops it in the river for him to never get his dick back. How the fuck does this work?
Oh, that's the juice for you. All right, you read the lyrics to Ravine.
Believe me, I'm gonna need a big chug after whatever the fuck we just reviewed. Anyway, next up we got Ravine, like you said. This is another song that I really didn't care much about.
I thought it was all right.
I mean, here's all right. So, he walks alongside it, and he walks alongside it. He was trying to find his circumcised penis, but he probably never gets it back. That's the only part I can find for the story of Ravine. Okay. He follows a small path running along the top and watches the tube bobbing up and down in the wire as the fast current carries it away. So yeah, he basically never got his dick back. He had it chopped off for nothing, and he won't be able to freaking stitch it back onto him. Now, Rael probably has to live probably like a woman for the rest of his life. I can't fucking do this anymore. I thought the Catholic girls in Cyborg was traumatizing or fucked up enough for me, dude, but what I've been hearing so far, all this fucking takes the cake.
Anyway, the next song is The Light Dies Down on Broadway.
The Light Dies Down on Broadway. I'm supposed to read the title tracks, you cunt. Anyway, I like the name of the title because it rhymes with The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Let me find the plot summary one more time. Okay, here we go. So, as Rael walks alongside it, he sees a window in the bank above his head, which reveals his home amidst the streets. Faced with the option of returning home, he sees John in the river below him, struggling to stay afloat. Rael dives in to save him, and the gateway to New York vanishes. You know what, dude? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I would have jumped into the portal. John has already been a fucking dick. He wouldn't help me the first time around when I was trying to get out of the fucking cave, and he wouldn't help me get my fucking dick back.
Anyway, I'm going to go into lyrics, or do you want to?
You do the lyrics next, but like I said, dude, I would have said, yeah, I'm choosing freedom. I would not stick in that area. I would not save John. He already proved that he was a fucking dick, dude. Pun intended, dude, because remember, not only did John refuse to help Rael get out of the fucking caves or whatever when those giant-ass spiky rocks were closing in on him, but he would not even help Rael get his fucking cock back, dude. Dude, fuck him. Fuck you, John. Fuck you.
As he walks along the gorge's edge, he meets a sense of yesteryear. A window in the bank above his head reveals his home amidst the streets. Subway sounds, the sounds of complaint. The smell of acid on his gun of paint. As it carves out anger in a blood-red band. Destroyed tomorrow by an unknown hand. My home. Is this the way out of the endless scene? Or just an entrance to another dream?
Yeah.
And the light dies down on Broadway. But as the skylight beckons him to leave, he hears a scream from far below. Within the raging water writhes the form of Brother John. He cries for help. The gate is fading now, but open wide. But John is drowning. I must decide, between a freedom I had in the rat race, or stay forever in this forsaken place. Hey, John. He makes for the river and the gate is gone. Back to the void where it came from. And the light dies down on Broadway.
What were you?
Okay.
Like I said, dude, if you were given the choice of staying in that realm forever or just jump in the portal, what would you have done?
I'd jump in the portal.
Me too, dude. Fuck John. He already proved he is a fucking selfish prick, wouldn't even help his brother out. John, go fuck yourself. I hope you fucking die. Next up, we got Riding the Scree. And, I don't know what it is here, but some reason I keep going back to like in the middle of Pink Floyd's song Echoes with the hard rock stuff. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm raising my hand because I want to talk.
What are you in fucking high school?
No,
Okay,
I just want to
Aegis.
say, with the light dies down on Broadway, I was like, that's tied for my fourth favorite song with the song that comes on later. That's all I
I
want to say.
I'm not sure what I would say for it. I kind of was not a fan of. I like the lyrics, but I was not a fan of the music.
I likes the music.
Spit on you. Anyway, okay, so let me take a look one more time. Yeah, right in the screen. It's basically
Whee!
yeah, it's basically Rael, choosing to save his dickhead of a brother over returning back home. Okay, so it says, struggling down the slope, there's not much hope. I begin to try to ride the scree, but the rocks are tumbling all around me. If I want John alive, I got to ditch my fear, take a dive, while I've still got my drive to survive. Evil Knievel, you got nothing on me. And then this is probably the funniest lyric right here.
Here I go.
You didn't even say anything, dude.
Yep.
Next up, we got In the Rapids, another instrumental. And so Rael rescues John and drags his body to the bank of the river and turns him over to look at his face, only to see it was his own face instead. Spoiler alert.
Mm.
Spoiler.
All right. And then comes It, which is tied for fourth best
Oh,
song
wait,
with
there's actually lyrics for this song here. There's actually lyrics for In the Rapids here. I'm going to read these quick. Moving down the water, John is drifting out of sight. It's only at the turning point that you find out how to fight. In the cold, feel the cold all around. And the rush of crashing water surrounds us with its sound. Striking out to reach you, I can't get through to the other side. When you're racing in the rapids, there's only one way, that's to ride. Taken down by the undertow. I'm spiraled down I'm spiraled down the riverbed. My fire is burning low, catching hold of a rock that's firm. I'm waiting for John to be carried past. We hold together, and shoot the rapids fast. And when the waters slow down, the dark and the deep have no one left to keep. Hang on, John, we're out of this at last. Something's changed. That's not your face. It's mine. It's mine. And now we get to It, which was probably what inspired the movie It. And I will say this here, dude. For me, this is probably my third most favorite song here from the album.
Okay. Yeah, this is tied for my fourth favorite song with the other one I was saying. What was it? The Light Dies Down on Broadway.
Yeah. Here's the one thing about this. You know, like with how rock operas kind of like have a sad tone to like their last songs of the albums? This is probably the only upbeat song that I heard for a closing song in any rock opera I've ever fucking heard. And sadly, ladies and gentlemen, this would also prove to be the very last song that we would ever listen to on any album that had Peter Gabriel as the lead singer of Genesis. Okay, so how the story goes, we conclude the story with his consciousness, right after he looked and saw his own face on John's body, his consciousness then drifts between two bodies, and he sees the surrounding scenery melting away into a haze. Both bodies dissolve, and Rael's spirit becomes one with everything around him.
Yeah, something it says here. Something to note about the lyrics is that there are 32 descriptions of it. This is a reference to the Chamber of 32 Doors, in which there was a maze of 32 doors with only one leading out. However, it was revealed by Lily White Lilith in the song of the same. of the same name that none of the obvious doors let out. She goes down a dark passage to the waiting room. This may be an implication to read between the lines for the real answer.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Anyway, do you want me to go through the lyrics?
Yeah, you get the lyrics here.
All right. When it's cold, it comes slow. It is warm, just watch it grow all around me. It is here, it is now. Just a little bit of it can bring you up or down, like the supper it is cooking in your hometown. It is chicken, it is eggs, it is in between your legs. It is walking on the moon, leaving your cocoon. It is the jigsaw, it is purple haze. It never stays in one place, but it's not no passing phase. It ain't no passing phase. It is in the singles bar, in the distance of the face. It is in between the cages, it is always in a space. It is here, it is now. The rock can be made to roll, if you've enough of it to pay the toll. It has no home in words or goal, not even in your favorite hole. It is hope for the dope, who rides the horse without a hoof. It is shaken, not stirred, cocktails on the roof. When you eat right through it, you see everything alive. It is inside spirit with enough grit to survive. If you think that is pretentious, you've been taken for a ride. Look across the mirror, sonny. Look before you choose. Decide. It is here, it is now. It is real, it is Rael. 'Cause it's only a knock and no, all but I like it. Yes, it's only knock and no, but I like it. Yes, it's only knock and no, yeah. And then it just repeats until the end of the song. And then that's the album.
Yep, you said it here, bro. You said it here yourself. Okay, so we now got to the conclusion of this album. What was your most favorite song, or what would you give it for a rating?
8.4 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
8.2 out of 10. 8.2 out of 10.
I would say 8 out of 10 for me, without a doubt. It's a really interesting story, but what the living fuck, dude? Just what the living fuck with, the latter part of the story here, man. Like I said, my most favorite song is The Lamia, and my least favorite song was The Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging.
Yeah, that was my least favorite song. I think probably my least favorite is Back in New York City. That or Cuckoo Cocoon. One of those two.
Cuckoo Cocoon. Instead of cuckoo, it's cuckoo.
Oh, cuckoo while you're in a cocoon.
What about your most favorite song, though?
Colony of Slippermen.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, I ended up liking a song that was about fucking committing bestiality and then cannibalism, and then you like a song that's about getting circumcised and having the raven from fucking Tales of Mystery and Imagination take your dick, drop it in a river, and you never see it again.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for... This is going to be our final podcast of 2025. I want to say from the bottom of our hearts, thank you all so much for supporting us this year. I look forward to seeing what happens in 2026, and Aegis is looking forward to the same thing. What were your guys' favorite songs from this album if you've listened to it? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to the Roger Radio Show. Hit the bell to be notified when we upload, and also hit the like button and comment what you want us to review for our next podcast episodes. While you're at it, also subscribe to El Gallo Productions and TRRS Clips and Highlights, which are my other channels, and subscribe to Aegis's channel, the Interrobang Group, as well. We got some very dumb shit planned for 2026, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And what do you, Aegis, you got anything you want to say before we close off the year?
That's it. No, next podcast is going to be my birthday podcast, and we're doing a special song, a special album that I really like.
Yep, and it's going to be an anniversary album this year, too. What we are planning to do is for the next year, we are going to look at what albums will have their anniversaries for like in the 10 mark or whatever, and we're going to set up a timeline of what we will review as well. And by next year, I'm hoping to work on some documentaries, start doing my documentaries that I've been wanting to do on this channel for a while. You never know. So thank you all so much for all the support you have given us this year in 2025. We look forward to seeing what 2026 will bring. As always, ladies and gentlemen, until next year, ta-ta for now!
Peace.